Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial and welcome to Techallien. Today we'll be talking about how to install a Mac operating system in a Windows computer using the virtual machine. Alright, so we'll be talking about the virtual machine. What is virtual machine? A virtual machine is a software or a software-based emulation of a physical computer. So it emulates the physical computer in the sense of replicating the physical computer using its components, unlike the memory, the RAM, and the physical memory. So the importance of virtual machine is it helps to isolate, or if you're trying to test a software or a virus, it helps isolate it out from your physical computer, meaning that you can test a software or a virus using the virtual machine without affecting your main computer. So it has other useful aspects in it, which is multi-OS. So you can multi-run different operating system in one virtual machine. For today's class, we'll be using what is called Vmware workstation. Although we have other virtual computers or virtual machines, which are the QMO, I believe QMO monitor, we have VirtualBox and the rest. So again, virtual machine has a whole lot of important role to play when it comes to testing, starting from the application to softwares and the rest. So overall, virtual machine plays a crucial role in various fields, including software development, system testing, and the rest. So let's just dive into it real fast. First, open your browser, and then we'll be downloading what is called a VMware workstation. So for this, we'll be using doing the testing using a VMware workstation. That's another virtual machine. For that, we'll be downloading VMware workstation. So we Google that. Let's Google for VMware workstation and head over to the site. Have it in mind that the first site that we are going to see will be the original link, because Google use what is called optimization, or Google search optimization. So we are in the site, which is the vmware.com, and now we are going to download the Windows application, although we have the Linux and we have for the Windows. For this, we are going to be doing the texting using the Windows. So download now. When we click on download now, you can see it's downloading, which might take a while to download without the waste of your time. Also, virtual machine is used for server management and cloud computing. It also offers flexibility, efficiency, and saving in IT infrastructure. So we use it in so many diversity. You understand me? So for this virtual, I prefer using virtual VMware workstation, because that's the best and it has the most reliable compared to others that I have tested. So for we to run this, we need to download this VMware or the virtual machine and also download an operating system. But the operating system that we'll be downloading will be in ISO. So for that, we'll be using Monterey for this, as since we are going to be testing using Mac operating system. So we'll be downloading Monterey. Now let's make a research for download Monterey. Alright, sorry. So we are going to click or search for download Monterey ISO. So we have two type of virtual CD or CD-ROM. We have for the DMG, which is compatible for the MacBook, and we also have ISO, which is compatible for testing in virtual machine and also mounting it in your Windows computer. So for this, we'll be downloading for the ISO, which we are going to be using in the virtual machine, which is the VMware. So now scroll down to where it says download Monterey, and scroll down to where it says download through firewall or firewall. I believe should be download. Yeah, download macOS Monterey. So we'll be downloading this, and now this will actually take up around 15 gigabytes of storage. So I think I already have it downloaded in my PC, and the compressed file or file will be in ISO. Remember, I told you that we have two type of CD-ROM, which I told you then, ISO and DMG. So it's a virtual CD that you can be able to mount in your computer. So let's head over to where I downloaded it. I believe it should be in my partition and in this folder called ISO. From here you can see that I have a whole lot of ISOs that I have already downloaded, but for this we'll be using the Monterey or Mac operating system called Monterey. We have other Mac operating system, so you can see I have for the DMG, which is compatible for MacBook itself, and I also have for the ISO file, which is also compatible for virtual machine and also compatible for computer, which is the Windows computer. So from here you can see we have a storage about 15 gigabytes of storage, which is going to be consuming, and from here you can see it's something 15.4. so since I have already downloaded it, there is no need of me downloading it anymore. So after installing your VMware, all you need to do is to open up your VMware workstation. Then if you are new in opening, this is your first time in downloading it, you will see the option where it gives you create a new virtual machine. Since it has been long that I installed it, I have to click on the file and click on new virtual machine. Make sure you select the typical, not the custom, and the typical is the exact one you'll be selecting, and click on the next button. So in here we'll be selecting the ISO file, which is the Monterey, which we downloaded. So you can see it's from Techallien. Sorry, I did not show you guys, so let me show you guys here. So I downloaded this from the, okay, let me close in. You can see it's from the Techallien where I downloaded the file, and that is exact file I'm still having in my folder which I downloaded. So I'll be selecting the file and open. Next thing we need to do is to click on next and select the Apple Mac OS X. Remember that what we are dealing here is the Mac operating system, and select the version, which is the 14, and the highest version you can ever find. That's the version you'll be selecting, either 14 or 15, depending on the time frame when you are actually testing out the virtual machine. So now we will really give it a name. First, we have to give our virtual machine a name, so we'll be calling it Monterey, and then click on next. Second thing we need to do is to assign a hard drive or hard disk. So we are assigning an 80 gigabyte, and remember to keep it as a store virtual disk as single. So from here you can see the configuration that is being given to you already. So we now have a 4 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 CPU core. So you can also customize your settings or your hard disk from here. Remember that all these things that is all the process that is picking up is from your computer, and make sure to set it up as virtual Intel. Make sure to untick that virtual Intel, sorry. So every of the memory that is using is from your your physical computer. So when you are doing the configuration, make sure that your physical computer has the proper configuration that you are setting up from here. So now let's power up this bad boy. All right, this is gonna take a while. Remember, we are not installing this operating system in a physical computer. We are installing it in a virtual computer, which might slow down things a little bit. In fact, it will slow down the installation. The installation process will actually slow down because you are not installing it inside a physical computer. So let's give it some time. All right. So another benefit for this is security. If you're too concerned about your security, like a VPN, virtual private network, and you don't want your IP to be leaked, you don't want anything that will be attached to your hardware computer or your physical computer when browsing or sorting out the internet, then you have to use the virtual computer or the virtual machine to do that. And also it has this server consolidation, meaning that you can run a multiple virtual machine all at the same time, like running Windows, Linux, and the rest, all at the same time in one virtual machine. So there is a whole lot of benefit that comes when you try to use a virtual machine. So let's begin. From here you can see it asks us for the language, so we'll be going with English. Next thing that we'll be doing is bouncing in to where it says install. Remember that you need to make a configuration from here, because you haven't set up, or the operating system can dictate the very hard drive that you set up when coming into the configuration of the virtual machine, which is 80 gigabyte, which you set as the hard drive. So remember, everything is being done virtually, which is kind of virtual, not in a physical hard drive. When it comes to a physical computer, you have your hard drive, your components, and the rest, which is the RAM, the hard drive, and everything, all physical. But this is kind of virtual, and is creating this this hard drive through your physical hard drive. Remember that the 80 gigabytes is being extracted from the hard drive which you have in your computer, so it has already covered the space of the 80 gigabytes. So if you have a space, let's say you have a space of 50 gigabytes in your physical computer, and you're trying to create a hard drive of 80 gigabytes, it won't be possible. It will never be compatible with it, because you don't have enough storage to carry up to that 80 gigabytes. Hope you get what I'm saying. So for the RAM, same thing, and for the processor, it's the same. So here you can see there is no hard drive. So for you to pull up this hard drive, or for you to make the hard drive appears in this very section, all you need to do is to make a format or convert it to a Mac operating system, or Mac OS or Macbook hard drive. So for that, we'll be closing down this installation process. So let's quit the installation by going to the installation here, and then scroll down to where it says quit installation, and then click quit. So next thing we will be doing here is a simple step, going to disk utility, and then heading down. From here you can see we have a whole lot of storage. These are just few storages that we are being assigned to by the virtual machine. You understand me? So this is the main one that we are supposed to erase, because this carries the 80 gigabytes of storage, and this is just the minor hard disk or minor memory that is being assigned to a computer, or you call it a third party, or the secondary storage. So for this, we'll be needing to erase the main storage, which has about 85.9 gigabytes. Remember, what we set up is 80 gigabytes, and it assigned extra 5.9 gigabytes, which you can see here. So that's the one we'll be erasing. For that, we head over to erase, and then give it a name. So we'll be calling it a Mac OS. Make sure you can give it any name, but for this tutorial we'll be using a sample of Mac OS, and then change the formats section to macOS extended journal. Remember, when you choose APFS, it will only detect it as you trying to create a bootable USB drive. So we'll be using macOS extended journal, and then we select our macOS extended journal and click erase. Now we can click on done and then close here. Now let's go back to our install macOS Monterey. And click continue. As I told you, this will be a little bit slow, and the process depends on your hardware, the configuration of your hardware. So I'm not talking about the configuration of your virtual hardware, I'm talking about the configuration of your physical computer. So like the RAM, the processor, the speed, and the rest, everything all depends on your physical computer. So for me, I'm running about Intel Core 7 or Core i7, and with a V Pro processor, so which makes it a little bit faster, although that is not a powerful computer. I remember that it might take a while. It might really take a while, as I told you. Alright, so let's click on agree, and here you can see the virtual hard disk has shown up. So let's click install. Bear it in mind that this will take a whole lot of time, to complete the installation. So you have to be patient. So the processor or the process for my own computer might differ from yours. Yours might be faster than mine, or mine might be faster than yours. So it goes vice versa. All right. So I think I'll have to skip the process for the installation and the setup, because this is going to take a whole longer time. So I will still tell you guys how to create a USB bootable flash for Mac operating system or any MacBook of your choice, through this virtual machine. Is very simple. People has been complaining about, this time around, Apple launching a whole lot of MacBook, and keeping their security too tight, that you can't even create, or there is no software to create out a bootable USB flash for their MacBook. But this makes it easier. All right, you can see I've already set up and assigned a name and a password to this virtual machine. So let's wait for this big boy to boot up. This is the final boot up. From here you can see that everything has been completely set, and I have my password. Congratulations to us, we have finally successfully created a Mac operating system in a virtual machine. So let's turn it on. Okay, you can see the load up is quite slow, because this is not a real computer. So it's a little bit slow. You have to be patient enough to let it boot completely. All right, so from here you can see we are almost there. All right, so with no due time, our computer will boot up completely. Okay, we have to wait for it to refresh. And here you can see we now have our Monterey running in our virtual machine. This look awesome. This looks awesome. Let's say that okay, you don't have a MacBook and you want to browse maybe with a Safari, or you want to keep yourself anonymous. You can do everything from here without affecting your computer. As I told you, without affecting your physical computer. So anything that happens here remains here. So let's check to see if that we are still running a Monterey or a different operating system. From here you can see we have our Monterey being installed, and from here you can see we have the processor, which is 2.68 gigahertz, and we also have our memory, which is around 4 gigabytes. Let me see from here, you can see, and we have our storage also, which is around 85.69 gigabytes, and we have already made use of 36.93. All right guys, so you tell me if you like this video. Please do me a favor by clicking on the like, and if you have any problem, just put down your comments and I'll respond to you without waste of time. And also please do subscribe to my channel for more tutorial like this, and I will really appreciate you guys coming back next time for a beautiful and cool lecture. Also, I have already placed a link below regarding on the USB or creation of USB. Thank you.